actually. I'll be right back.
Okay. The tabletop room's up. You guys can hop in as you please.
Here. Ready.
You back there, Soup? Oh, I guess the answer's that.
Hello.
Soup.
Alright. We're mostly here, ready to go. Might as well start. Da, 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 da. Welcome back to another game of Skyfall 5e. How's the week, guys?
Not too bad.
Yeah? Anything exciting?
In houses? That's exciting, I guess.
Looking at houses?
Yeah.
I thought you were looking at like an apartment or something.
Well, condos.
Right. Gotcha.
Condo, townhouse, duplex.
Well, that's cool. Has it been fun or just stressful garbage?
It'll be the first time this weekend.
Oh.
Probably stressful,
Probably stressful.
but then fun at the end.
Very nice. Well, try to enjoy yourself. It doesn't seem like much else is happening, so I might as well hop in. We're missing Daxon, but I'm sure he'll be here in 15 or something like that. And if I remember correctly, we left off with you guys in your ship, having just stolen a whole bunch of books. So that you can...
borrowed.
Sorry, right. Borrowed a whole bunch of books.
And we immediately returned them too.
Yeah. You're just like a bunch of miscreants at the library. And after that, had closed the hatch and we're ready to head off. But I don't think you had exactly laid in any coordinates yet. So what do you guys want to do? Where are we going?
I think we're going to the temple, right? Because we got all of our preparation rations and such.
I think so. I think we had it.
Questions?
Didn't we go back to the city and get, like, buy supplies?
I think so. Well, I remember Mackinac had, like, a cart and everything.
I do have the card. You cannot take the card away from me.
Yeah, so I think we're just going to, the Golden Dart, which, right-clicking on it, it says underneath it, Jackknife Gang, so apparently they've,
What?
yeah, if you right-click on the Golden Dart right here,
Oh,
here's
that's...
the Jackknife Gang's operating.
Delete that.
You know, after they got destroyed, they just set up shop in the middle of the jungle, no problem.
Makes sense, makes sense.
Just a hop, skip, and a jump away. Interesting. Okay. With that, mentioning that you want to go to this temple, you guys have already shown your maps and everything over to the computer, including the one that Erlebald got, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, I showed him the map.
Okay. If that's the case, then Harold's voice comes in again as he speaks to you all and says, "I found the temple. I can take you there if you wish. There's no guarantee I can get right up to it, but I'll try my best."
Wow, that's quite incredible that you found it already.
I've looked around. Using this map, I can see that it's, well, quite visible from up above.
Well, apparently it's quite the jungle that we really don't want to get lost in it, so the closer the better.
The jungle does not seem to be, well, difficult to navigate, at least from what I can see.
Yeah. Perhaps just bad travelers.
Perhaps.
Bit off more than they could chew. Well, if we've got everything we need, I guess no reason not to go now.
I believe we are prepared.
Shall we
Well,
jump,
whenever-
Captain?
Harold, can you show us the area surrounding the temple that you have found?
Of course. A moment later, and you see images start to move, and gradually a representation of what was shown on the map starts to come into view. The picture, though, is a little imperfect, and I'd like you guys to each make perception checks.
Well, that's not good.
That's an 8.
That's a natural 1.
Hey,
Okay. The image is a sort of warbling thing with quite a bit of static to it, and you can see that there's like a big sort of square-shaped structure there surrounded by lush jungle trees on every side. And you can make out that there's other little bits of color and whatnot there, but it's actually quite difficult to see much detail at all, other than the fact that the building is kind of square-shaped and surrounded by jungle on all sides. Doesn't appear to be any roads or anything going up to it.
Certainly looks like some kind of jungle temple.
does appear so.
I know that the image is blurry, but my sensors aren't always perfect, though I am almost certain that this is it.
Thank you, Harold. Well, I believe we will find out once we attempt to go there.
Shall I make the jump, Captain?
Looking at the image, is there like a nice area that looks like it might be nearby but secluded in a way?
I don't think there's anything for like clearings or whatnot. It's just kind of like jungle trees all over the place. Make a luck roll for me.
Luck roll. Oh,
Oh, okay.
show me clearing.
Near to the temple, just a little ways away, so, on foot, it's tough to tell exactly how big the building is, but if you had to use it as a marker and kind of guess, you think this is maybe like 10, 15 minutes away from the temple, but there appears to be something, a bit of an anomaly off in the trees, and you realize it's like a little stream coming from a waterfall, and there's a little kind of clearing around it that would make a kind of like a safe place to put the ship if you needed to.
I believe this location would be suitable for us to store the ship.
I can travel there if you'd like.
Please do so.
The little button appears on the screen there, and begats that you press it if you are actually ready to go.
I'll walk up and give a look to my party members.
Dominic coughs.
Oh, it's a cough of affirmation. I press the button.
When you press the button there, all of the colors shift, and you guys get that strange sensation of upward movement and then all the other directions. And I need somebody to make 2 luck rolls. The first one will be for the fuel used.
I mean, I'm always willing to roll.
You
I think-
roll the first one.
You
can
do the
roll the
fuel
first
one
one.
because it's the ship's soup.
I
You,
got
you do
that.
the second one because it's dart stuff.
Oh,
The fuck?
We may have a ghost problem.
Just tabletop things.
Working
Okay.
in our favor, though. It's okay.
Oh,
Oh no!
nice. That's
Okay.
a natural one.
When the ship finally ceases to move, you can tell from the fuel gauge there that you've gotten lucky this time and used very little. However, when you go and open up the hatch, having been told by Harold that you guys are here, you see that you're in the middle of the jungle, and any way that you look from outside of the hatch is just like trees.
Did we land where we wanted to?
Did we? Are we like in that clearing by the stream?
No, you're just in the middle of the jungle. There's no waterfall, nothing.
I would like to shimmy up a tree and try to gain my bearings here.
Sure. You step out, and the moment that you do, just this waft of humidity, crashes into you, and the sound of like jungle birds off in the distance and strange insects clicking and whatnot. The jungle is teeming with life. When you kind of step out here, you're maybe a foot off the ground where the little hatch starts, and you find a tree nearby. And I'd like you to make an acrobatics roll.
Uh, 10.
Okay. In a couple of seconds, you grab a hold of the thing and start to hop up. It's a little tricky, but some of the branches are quite gnarled and make for decent handholds. And before long, you make it up into the tree. And getting up towards the top, it's a little difficult, but you're able to pop your head over and kind of look around. And you don't see the waterfall or anything like that. But you do see what looks like the top of a temple that pokes out of the trees as well off in the distance. It's a little walk away.
About how far would I estimate?
Maybe about like 10 minutes.
If it's just a straight path without anything in the way, kind of thing. Okay.
Yeah, it seems like it.
Alright, well, I'll climb back down.
Did you see anything?
Well, I do not know where that waterfall is, but yes, over in this direction. Maybe a 15 minutes walk. I think the temple is that way.
Hmm. What like roughly what time is it? Like, could I see the beginnings of the stars if I looked up?
Hmm. When were you guys doing your stuff before? Was it in the evening?
We were like,
I think you had been underground for some time, so you guys wouldn't really know.
yeah, I have
I
no
think
idea.
underground and then in a building that we didn't leave.
Sure.
And
Somebody
then
roll
here,
a
so.
d20. 11 or higher, and it's daytime. Yeah, so I'd say with that, it's probably like... It looks like the middle of the afternoon. The sun's above you.
Hmm. Damn, so none of the things I've learned from my new map would come in handy, at least location-wise, for the star charting.
Your map for star charting? No, you can't see any of the stars.
Hmm.
The map will
Technically,
probably
we can
prove...
see one.
It might prove useful once you get up to the temple, as it's like a very local image, but right now, yeah, you guys are kind of just off in the distance. Sorry, what was that, Maknar?
I was making a snide comment. Ignore it.
Ah, gotcha.
Well, my only worry is that the locations, the land around here, moves and shifts. That's why people get lost. If the ship is so far away from the temple, it may move away and we won't be able to locate it.
Well,
That would
I
be
can tell you,
problematic.
I will not get lost in a jungle by any means unless it is magical. So hedge your bets on if it's magic or not. If you don't think it is, then we're fine.
All right, I trust you. Let us continue.
Okay. Are you guys headed off?
Yeah, at least Earl is.
I assume Colcoat is leading, so Colcoat, make a survival check for me, please.
Oh, I would have given Harold one last message.
Sure,
Is-
yeah, what would you say to him?
Harold, if we do not return within 1 year's time, can you return to the facility?
I can do that.
Please do so. In the event that we are able to find our way back to...
Ah, I see. In case you are lost for an extended period of time.
Yes. Unless you have a mechanism for finding us and transporting yourself to our location.
I could search for you, but I would likely run out of fuel before finding you.
Your
In any
sensors are
case,
unable to determine life forms.
I can to a degree, but it's very difficult to find specific people.
I'll turn back to the party. Does that sound like a suitable plan? In the event the forest or the jungle is magical.
Yes, that should do quite nicely.
Alright, Harold. If we do not return within 1 year's time, transport yourself to the facility where we will find you.
Okay. I don't know if it's necessary, Captain, but I was wondering if I could maybe use the hunter killer that we brought.
You may.
Thank you. And when you say this, you hear what sounds like some mechanical noises from somewhere deep within the ship.
What are you going to do with it? Are you going to accompany us?
I could do that. I was gonna look around, but I can certainly stay with you.
You can track the hunter killer, can't you? At
I'll-
least easier than us, I would think.
Yes, I can keep track of where it is, so long as it's on the same plane of existence.
Oh, well, it's probably safest if you come with us.
Okay. And at that, you see that there's a large spider that kind of comes around the corner here. And it's not like you guys had seen it before, where it looks like some sort of clockwork thing. Instead, it looks like an actual, like, giant Shelob type spider. Like, just a massive giant spider that comes around. And just kind of pauses there for a second.
Hello again.
You hear Harold's voice, and he says, "Unfortunately, the hunter killer's damaged. I can't speak through it, but I can still communicate with gestures." And you see the spider raises one of its legs and kind of waves it back and forth.
Okay, keep it to gestures. Got it.
You
Well-
are able to hear us through the hunter killer, correct?
Yep.
Excellent.
Oh, this is going to be good. I'm curious what we'll find there.
Hopefully a golden dart.
That would be ideal, yes.
Well, I'll keep an eye out and go through all the books that we've recently scanned. I'll feed through them, but if something important happens with the hunter killer, you can be sure that I'll try and protect you with it.
Thank you, Harold. Alright, shall we proceed?
Alright. Yes. Let's get going now.
As you guys step away from the ship, Harold calls out another time and he says, "Should I close the hatch?"
Yes, Harold. Please close the hatch.
You hear a sort of whirring noise, and soon a invisible door closes up, and the thing has completely vanished, leaving you guys alone here in the jungle, well, apart from with this giant beastly spider. Let me find something.
Alright, well, I'll try to lead us over, and I'll do my absolute best to try to know where the tracks are, like marking trees with chalk, making sure I leave tracks, all sorts of stuff.
Okay, sounds good. So, did you make that survival check?
I did not. It's
Okay.
is that with advantage because it's favored terrain?
Sure.
At this point, I'm assuming I wouldn't even have it in a forest. Survival.
That's not bad.
I think great. That's only at 12.
12. Okay. You guys travel forward for a bit, and as you do, make your way through the jungle, and you guys have been through the jungles below Vosnux, and below the Empire, and there it seemed like everything wanted to kill you. But after traveling for maybe about 5 or 10 minutes, you see a number of, like strange creatures and things like that. Insects you've never seen before, like massive millipedes that kind of go by, and weird birds that look odd and unfamiliar. But you're not actually attacked. Travel seems to be a little bit safer here. Also, not quite as many snakes out on the prowl.
Oh, good.
However, after traveling for about 10 minutes or so, you find that you're still just hitting jungle, and you go for another 10 just to be sure, and it seems like you're unable to find this temple, even though you're almost certain, Colcoat, that you just traveled in a straight line.
Well, you guys, 1 second. Let me check one thing, and I'll try to climb a tree again and see if I can figure out where I am.
Sure.
Do you want an acrobatic?
No, it's alright. You get up to the top of the tree here. You're getting used to climbing these things. And when you pop out of the top, you look around and you see what looks like the temple nearby. It's like maybe 5 minutes away. But you're pretty sure you didn't miss it. And it also is on the different direction of you, as though you had passed it.
That is not good.
Golcoat, what do you see?
I'll scurry back down. Well, it's about maybe 5 minutes away in that direction, and it's in the direction we just came from, correct?
Yeah, so you see the Colcoat just turns like behind where you guys were just walking. Even the hunter-killer turns around and stares in that direction.
So, keep your eyes open, because I guess we missed it last time.
Your tree climbing skills are invaluable.
Yes, these claws are quite useful.
He just nods sagely and then starts to walk back.
Okay, new plan. I figured it was about 5 minutes away. We'll walk for 5 minutes, climb up again. If we're not close, we're probably going to die. But let's just check it out.
Okay, you guys go off and try and make your way over there. And, Colcoat, I would like you to make for me a straight wisdom roll, please.
11.
11? Okay. You're traveling and you're traveling. You go for 5 minutes, and you haven't hit the temple yet.
If I was marking like trees with chalk, when I start going back the other direction, is it like I'm just following the marks I'd made before, or are they gone?
How often have you been making those?
I don't know. Like let's say every like 15 to 20 feet ish, just kind of like marking it with a line as I walk past.
Okay. You find like 3 or 4 marks pretty immediately. And then after that, look for another, and you lose it. Like, you don't see the mark. Like, there should be one here. And when you look around, this is only, like 100 feet back, right? So it's pretty fresh in your memory. And when you go looking for the tree that should be there, you don't see it. And you remember there was, like, a gnarled tree here with branches that kind of curled up to the left, and there was like a little, like, sort of dirt path, sort of, in one direction, and none of that seems to be here. But other parts are still the same. You see a bunch of the bushes are more or less where they were, and the surrounding scenery seems pretty similar, but certain parts are missing.
Okay, I do not want to alarm anyone, but we might be getting lost. You know the marks I was leaving on the trees? Like we were working this in a straight line, right? We didn't like curve or change directions, right? I'm not crazy. We walked straight.
I mean, I'm not. I don't know for sure. Mackinac, were we walking in a straight line?
I do believe so. We may, in fact, be in a magical jungle, as you said, Colcoat.
Yes, we probably should have counted on it being magical.
What I read was that the land moves, so in order to properly get from place to place, you must guide yourself by the stars. But it's too early in the day for such a thing.
I see. Colcoat, can you take another look to where the temple is?
Yes, a look. Hopefully we're close, and if we are, maybe we can just kind of hold tight until we get some stars out there. So I'll go climbing and see what's up there.
Sure. You get up towards the top and look around, and when you get up to the top of the tree, you find that directly in front of you, about 10 minutes away, there's the temple.
Back in the same direction, or like the way that we just came from?
Well, the way that you're walking right now, so backwards,
Okay.
which is forwards from before.
Okay, so I'll go down. Relay this. All right. We're still close.
So which
Let's not get any further away. Let's just hold on here. But now I'm thinking, if it's just switching around and moving, what if the part that we're on goes somewhere else?
Well, exactly. That's the concern. But if every minute or so you climb a tree, maybe we can figure out the right direction to move to follow it.
While you guys are talking about where to go, you suddenly hear something, and I'd like a group perception check from you all, please.
Better than last time, guys. No!
What rhymes with natural one?
We see everything.
That's an 11?
That's 6, but it was.
Oh,
Okay.
wait.
An 11. Okay. You guys hear what sounds like something moving around nearby. Or rather, Erlebald, you hear that. Sorry, it's my bad. Erlebald, you hear what sounds like something lurking near. Maybe like 30, 60 feet away. Creeping through the jungle. It sounds like it's putting like soft footfalls on the ground. Like you hear, like leaves crinkling and stuff.
Well, I can hear someone. What direction are they? Are the footsteps?
Sure,
Or
yeah,
are
you
they-
go and like turn and look in that direction.
Do they sound like they're getting closer, further away, or just like side to side?
I'd say with an 11, you don't know. They could just be traveling past you, or maybe they're coming towards you, maybe going away. Tough to say.
He just points in the direction then?
Sure.
Who goes there? If you're evil, we will kill you. But if you know how to get out of the forest, can you help us?
Okay. When you
Very
call
well
out,
said,
you see
Colbert.
what looks like a startled animal dart from one of the nearby bushes. It's a boar with a pair of tusks around its snout, and it just goes running immediately when you shout at it, and then escapes off into the distance.
Well, we showed him.
Good job, Colcoat.
Wrecked.
Way to spot him, Earl.
He just has a thumbs up. Now, we should probably not stay in the same place for too long. Do you want to move in the direction you saw the temple for a minute and then climb another tree?
Let's just wait a bit. Let's see if we just move by not moving. Because we know when we move that it moves, but if we don't move, does it also move?
I haven't had an idea, Colcoat, based on what you have just said. Can you climb the tree and see if the temple is moving in a specific direction?
But yes, I would like to climb the tree because I feel safer there. I'll go climb it up and wait for a while, I guess.
Sure. When you climb to the top of the tree, you don't have to wait to see that the temple actually isn't where it was before. You go and look around, and you miss it for a second, and then have to make like a sort of 45 degree over to your left. Oh, there it is.
Yeah, it definitely moved again.
Can boars climb trees?
I don't think so.
What were you saying, Colcoat?
Well, it's moved. I'm just going to watch for a bit.
Alright. Tell us if it moves really fast in a direction.
So I'll just kind of observe for a while and see what exactly happens.
Sure. When you get up towards the top and look over, you see the temple where it was from last time. And you stare at the thing, and you guys down on the forest floor, you wait for a minute. No strange sounds approaching. Everything is calm. And Coalcoat, you just see the temple there. Nothing moves. It just stays right where it is.
You guys, I think I can make it stay there if I just stare at it.
Can you make a perception check while you're seated there in the tree? Well, it
21.
wanted to be a 1.
It really did, yeah. 21.
Okay. As you're saying that and looking at the thing, you think that you see what looks like a slight, almost imperceptible movement. You have to kind of blink for a second, and you think it might have actually shifted over to the left a bit.
Wait, no, it's moving.
Can you tell which direction?
I'll motion to them where it's
Sure.
moving.
Yeah, you see Coalcoat, like, reaches his hand down from the top of the big palm leaves and kind of flails in the direction, everything trying to give you guys signals.
Should I just keep an eye on it unless it starts going like really far away, and then maybe we go after it?
Continue watching it for a few more minutes, and let us know if it continues moving in the same direction that you previously saw.
Yes, I'll just hang out up there for a while. See what
Sure.
happens with it.
Now,
I guess see if there's any kind of like rhyme or reason to what it's doing.
while you're up there and watching the thing, most of the time it seems like it's just stationary, which is perfectly normal. But other times you think that it looks like it's kind of moving there. And any time that it does so, you find that it's difficult to keep your focus on it. Like the image becomes diffuse in a way that is difficult on the eyes. And you kind of have to like almost
Like,
uncross
blink
them
and
or
rub
whatever.
my eyes a little bit, and then
Yeah,
then
it's-
all of a sudden it's in a different spot.
It's kind of like when you look at like you've had this before where you've seen like a pattern that somebody has drawn or like something that a weaver has put together, and sometimes your eyes kind of cross from looking at it. It's sort of like that, and you have to sort of shake yourself out of it. And when that happens and you shake yourself out of it, that's when you realize that it's shifted over. It never seems to move all that much. Sometimes going a bit more than other times, usually just a degree over to one side and then the other, sometimes getting smaller and then, larger as it moves closer or further away. But over the course of, 5 or 10 minutes that you sit there in the tree, you definitely see it, do this a few times. Now, I have to ask, what are you thinking to yourself right now? Like, what's going through Coalcoat's head here as he's up in the trees on, like, a hot summer day or whatever, and watching this temple kind of shift about and everything?
I'm enjoying the heat. It's a nice weather. It's pretty peaceful. I'm liking everything except for the moving temple. But I guess I'm just trying to figure out like what the heck's going on. Like, is it some kind of illusion? Is it actually moving? I mean,
Sure.
we have a ship that's invisible, so is it just some kind of fence mechanism to it?
Okay. Now, a little bit goes by, and the thing sometimes moves closer, sometimes further away. You guys are down there on the forest floor for about 10 minutes. I don't know when one of you guys wants to interrupt the other, but you can wait here for longer if you wish.
I mean, as long as it's not too far away. If it all of a sudden looks like it's moving really far away from us, we probably want to move. But otherwise, we don't want to get ourselves more lost, I guess.
Okay. Sometimes you see it move further away, other times a little bit closer. But it never seems to go too far. It's never like at a point where you now feel like you've lost hours of time from how much it's shuffled.
Does it feel like you have a rough idea of which direction it is moving in, Kolka?
So while I'm watching, does it just seem like it's random? Does it seem like there's any pattern to it?
There doesn't appear to be any rhyme or reason to it. While you're watching it, sometimes you kind of guess, thinking that it does like a left, and a right, and then a left, and then a right, and you get the feeling like you can sort of perceive where it's gonna go, but perhaps you're gauge is wrong, as every now and then your random guesses turn out to be incorrect.
Every time I think I've got it, the next one is not.
Yeah.
I'll climb down, I guess, eventually after a little while. Like, is it still kind of early afternoon or getting later, or?
Oh yeah, you were up there for like 10-20 minutes, something like that.
Well, it doesn't look like it's going too far away. It's kind of jumping around here and there. It's so close, yet you can't quite reach it.
Perhaps it will be more efficient for us to move in smaller segments. 2 minutes towards it, check again, move another 2 minutes.
I'm kind of wondering. Do you think that maybe even what I'm seeing up there is really the temple? You know, after what we had with the ship and it had the illusions of the sewers, maybe that's not even the temple at all. Maybe that just makes you wander around in the jungle until you die.
Do you see anything else of note up there?
Would I have illusion? I'm assuming just mostly jungle as far as I could see other than that.
Yeah, you see other landmarks, like, the mountains off in the distance, that kind of thing, but otherwise, no, just the temple.
There's some mountains and things here and there, but nothing quite remarkable, nothing too close.
I believe we should continue to find what we think is the temple. If we spend more than a few hours at it, perhaps we should take a different approach.
Maybe we should be walking in some type of different direction, like in loops or something, rather than just straight lines.
In a curve or?
Hey, or I could just write something on every single tree, and then maybe we'll see them again sometime. It'll disappear and come back later, who knows?
How much rope do you have on you?
I have no rope.
Did someone just ask about rope?
Do you have any rope there, Mackinac?
I have 250 feet of rope.
Let's experiment! Tie someone to the rope. You can meet rope.
Oh, there's an idea.
Or we could tie a tree to the rope.
I will say you can't use Dominic, even though he's not here.
Table talk, I like to describe what I'm going to explain to them, and then
Sure,
if you guys
yeah,
are
absolutely.
good with it. Essentially, Colcoat picks a direction. I tie myself to rope, and Erlebald and Colcoat. Erlebald starts walking in that direction. Colcoat gets down from the tree. I walk towards Erlebald, and we just sort of like caterpillar our way in that straight line, like using ourselves as like placeholders.
I lost you. You
Okay.
want to
I
inch
get it.
along like an
got
earthworm?
Yes.
Yes. Here
Okay.
we got Colcoat, we got Erlebald, we got me.
Right.
Right. So we start here. Colcoat points in a direction. I send Erlebald in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
Colcoat gets down from the tree. I walk towards Erlebald. Erlebald walks in a straight line away from me and Colcoat. And then
We have a
Colcoat
rope.
catches up to me. And we have rope. So it's like, we can like figure out like if we're actually.
Oh, you're all gonna be connected one to another.
So we're all connected together, and
Right.
we're like leapfrogging like this in a straight line.
Sure. Yeah, you can
I
do
guess-
that.
Only me and Mackinac need to be connected by rope, right?
No,
I would
we
like
need-
to jump through the trees if possible.
I think Colcoat is also supposed to be connected.
Yeah, because then we don't know. Like
Oh,
which,
what
like,
the fuck? Where'd this spider come from?
That's your hunter killer. That's what he looks like.
Oh my god, what?
This thing's just following you around everywhere.
What?
Yeah.
I thought he
Adorable.
was like a robot.
No, remember his
Oh
thing
my
drone.
god, that's
That's
awesome
not the first time we saw him
looking.
like that. That's the second time.
What? I could have sworn he was like a
He was.
Dwemer.
he was, and then he wasn't.
Yeah, he was disguised. Or this
Oh,
is his
okay.
disguise. Who knows?
Oh my god, that's so cool. Holy shit.
Yeah, you
feel
guys
much
have
safer.
acquired a pet. Its name is Herald, Destroyer of Worlds. Spider Overlord.
So wait, do you want me to explain again? Like,
No, that works.
Okay.
But you have 250 rope, so it's gonna
I
be
have 250
like
rope.
70 feet between each of you. And
I mean,
then
we can
some
do like
tie
50
off.
and 50. Like, you don't have to use
Why do-
all 250.
Why do we need to tie? If Colcoat's just climbing a tree while
No,
you're
so
at the
here's-
base,
Here,
why does
here's the issue, right? Coco climbs a tree here, says, "Okay, that's the direction. You go off in that direction." The moment I start following you, we no longer know which direction you're going. Like, if you go a little bit to the left, now that's where the rope is pointing. There's no way to know
I
which direction is
see.
the same. But if we have
So
Coco,
he'll know for sure because he was up in the tree. Okay.
no,
I
so
get
he'll,
it.
he'll know for sure. You go this way. I move like halfway to you, and we have a straight line here and here. Colcoat then catches up. We still have a straight line.
I
I
see.
move to you. We still have a straight line. You go forward. We still have a straight line. So it's like we always have a straight line in the same direction.
It's a genius plan. I love
Thank
it.
you. All right, we try that.
Sure.
Probably like 50 feet of separation as we go.
It takes you a while to kind of get the idea across to the other party members here and eventually get the rope also rigged up. But after a little while, you guys have connected the rope to yourselves. And I'll assume that you're tying it in a way that doesn't, like,
I mean, we don't need to like
cut the
tie
rope.
it to ourselves. We can just like
Hold
it in
on
our
to
hand.
it, or, yeah, put it in, like, a belt buckle or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, worst case, I can use mending to repair it, right?
Yep, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So you guys go ahead and do that. So there's 50 feet of rope between each of you. And you go ahead and try this out. Colcoat gets up in the tree, points out the direction that the temple is in, and Erlebald goes walking off. And then eventually, Mackinac, you go to follow up with him. And then eventually Colcoat goes to follow up with Mackinac. Now, I need a luck roll from whoever's feeling lucky here.
I got it. I'm up in the trees. I got this.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I knew it wasn't going to be great.
Okay.
Nice.
5.
It's not a 1.
So, just so we can kind of visualize this, the three of you guys are together. Colcoat gets up in the tree and points in the direction, and Erlebald starts to go wandering off in that direction. And then Colcoat, when you go to, give the okay to Mackinac, you have trouble with it because now the temple has shifted slightly over to the right. So it's not, you guys aren't really traveling in a straight line towards the temple anymore.
What if... Yeah. What if
Does it-
I don't...
If I ask Colcoat, does the temple like roughly stay in like the same spot over a period of time, just like shifts back and forth, or is it like actually moving like gradually south?
Both. Yeah, sometimes it just shimmies, like roughly in the same spot, and other times it'll actually drift for quite some time. And it seems like when you guys are back on the forest floor and have been just doing something for a few minutes, and then he goes back up there, the amount by which it can move is like dramatic, sometimes going from being in front of you to being behind you. Closer, further away, it's all over the place. Though thankfully it never disappears from view. So, Colcoat, you're looking over there, and the thing has shifted. What do you tell Mackinac when you look down from the tree?
I am starting to think that we cannot catch up to it. It's always going to be a bit ahead of us. I'm sure if we just stopped and ran right at it, probably would move faster. I don't even know if it's real.
Now, meanwhile, Mackinac, you're off in the distance, just standing there with your end of the rope in the middle of the jungle, and you can hear off in the distance what sounds like the two of them talking, but you're kind of like off by yourself there. And I'd like you to make a perception check, please.
Wait, Mackinac or Erlebold?
Erlebald.
Oh. Sweps one. Wait, where the hell is my D20? There you are. Ha!
Okay.
Roll a 1.
Beautiful.
That's a 7.
Alright. From the tone of the two of them, it sounds like there may have been a problem. What do you want to do? Just kind of like keep staying there and hope they catch up soon?
You know what? They'll tug on the rope if they need me. I'm a cool guy. I can wait.
Sounds good. Meanwhile, back at the other two.
I think we should at least attempt this plan. If it fails, we can revisit that. The temple may not even be there.
See, but now my second question is, we don't really know where we are in relation to the ship.
Correct.
Oh, so I guess when we're doing this, like, these guys are gonna have to be with us, right?
Oh yeah, they're following. I would say probably like the very back end of the inchworm here.
So we'll see if Hunter Killer responds. Hey, Harold,
The spider looks at you.
do you know how to get back to the ship from where we are?
The spider turns for a moment, its 8 legs causing a pivot, and it points one of these like large front legs off in a direction.
Do you want to see if we can get back to the ship at least, and then we at least are not completely hopeless? I kind of think Earl and his stars probably the best bet.
I would like to attempt this plan. If it fails, we can attempt to return to the ship.
Okay, well, hey Harold, if you think we're getting to a point that you cannot get back to the ship, let us know.
The spider looks at you and then kind of waves one of its arms in front of it.
Okay, so back to plan. So I have to climb and now point you in the direction? Or I go...
No. So it's you climb down. I walk towards Earl. Then Earl walks away from me so that both ropes are like in a perfect line.
Sure. You go straight ahead here, Mackinac. And once Colcoat's back down on the forest floor, you go walking off towards Earl. And that's when you have the horrible realization. When you go forward, you see the rope tangled on a vine from a tree, and that's, not like a big problem. Maybe Earl walked through like a tangle of vines or something, but then after the vines caught on one of them, there's a bit of tension because the rope veers off towards the left. And then when you look in that direction, you see a couple of trees, and then through like a little bit of the thicket, you see Earl standing there in like a small clearing, just kind of looking around, looking awfully cool. But he's clearly not in a straight line from you. It's like he just turned to the left at some point.
Thanks for that awfully cool illusion. Thanks a lot.
Earl, what are you doing? Is this a clearing he's in? Like it's different than other parts of the jungle?
Yeah, are you gonna go run and catch up with him?
What?
How did you find this clearing?
What do you mean?
Something different. Look.
Do I notice that I'm in like a very strange place for like?
It's just like a random patch of jungle that you walked into.
Oh, okay. Oh, what? I mean, it's just a clearing.
Did you walk straight or did you turn?
I walk straight as a dart or a whistle. Or
Whistle dart.
Whistle darts.
what?
That
Is there a
doesn't
problem?
make sense. Well, your rope veered off,
Oh,
and now you're in this clearing. What? Did the land just shift around you as you stood on it?
it's very possible.
As Earl's talking, Colcoat, you notice something. Behind him, there's a tree that has like a little white mark on it, like one of the chalk stripes that you've put there. And
Oh God! Look, the chalk. Oh no!
Oh, well, we walking in circles.
Wait,
Should
wait,
we...
wait. Okay, Harold, which direction is the ship in?
Harold turns and points towards one of the directions.
Is it the same one we just came from, or like where he pointed last time, or is it different?
No, it seems like he points in a different direction.
Oh no. Wait, what if we just hug a tree and hold on to it, and maybe it will appear in front of the temple at some point. Eh?
We could also return to the ship and spend the extra fuel to teleport directly on it this time.
I don't think we can get back to the ship.
What if Harold just points at the ship the whole time so we just always know where we're walking?
But we tried to do that with the temple.
Well, we were using rope. I mean, it's very different. Harold's a robot. Very smart.
I do not see the issue with the rope.
Well,
Just consulting
I
man's rope.
I didn't know that I wasn't walking in a straight line, but
He said he went straight as a dart. He wouldn't lie about darts.
Perhaps he has acquired a new ability to curve darts.
And you curve darts.
It's quite possible. I've never built a curved dart. It's more of a boomerang, now that I think about it. That would be quite sacrilegious of me. Regardless, what should we do? We can wait till, I guess, dusk, and then I'll be able to hopefully track us by the stars.
How far distance-wise would we be from the temple illusion? If I ask Colcode here.
If you go and look at it again?
Yeah, if I went and looked.
Yeah.
Sure. It looks like it's maybe 5-10 minutes away.
How many feet would that be?
Oh god, don't ask me to do math here. I don't know.
Is it less than 1,000?
Less than 1,000? Let's see.
Probably, actually. Or no, probably not.
So probably what, 2,600 feet ish?
Sure.
10 minutes? Half a mile? Takes 20 minutes to walk a mile.
Hooray.
Math.
Well, we can keep trying to walk to it, but I think it's just going to keep moving away. But then standing here, it'll probably move away at the same time. Damn it! Why did we get out of?
I'm not certain what returning to the ship will accomplish at this point.
It would secure our survival. For now, we are hopelessly
Fine.
lost in the magical jungle.
By nightfall, I guarantee.
Harold appears to know how to guide us back to him.
But
I
it
do not see the
moved
issue.
from the last time. Harold,
Yes.
which direction is it?
He points off, and it's similar, but not the same direction.
See, it's moving already.
Correct. Which is consistent with what we have seen. He is aware of the correct direction of the ship at all times.
Yes, but that doesn't mean we can get to it.
Yes, we
As
can.
long as Harold is using the hunter-killer to direct us, we likely can. We can return to the ship if this will satisfy.
Well, I do not think we can. So let's just keep going for the temple. Try not to get too far away. Wait for the stars, and if Uro can't do anything with them, we're screwed.
All right. Well, we should. I want to get back to the ship, so let's try that now, and then we'll do that, Colco. I feel like.
It's early in the day. We've got lots of time to wander. Let's try to get to the ship for like 20 minutes. If we can't, then back to the temple.
Oh yes, wonderful.
Harold, can you lead us back to the ship?
The spider turns and starts to walk in a direction, and goes in a slow pace so that you guys can keep up.
Yeah, Earl just follows.
Sure.
Yep.
You guys follow in the spider's wake. It's not a graceful thing in a jungle large like this, having to crawl over and up things every now and then, but you guys keep behind it, and while you're moving along, you guys sometimes see what looks like landmarks that are very, very similar. Like, I'm pretty sure we passed that tree already, and you also notice that Harold doesn't move in a straight line. Like, he does for a bit, and then eventually starts to veer to one side, and then another, and then another. And you guys have been traveling for a while, and eventually get towards what looks to be like a sort of like a fork in the road, so to speak. There's like a large tree in front of you, and the tree has like a two sort of dirt paths sort of carved into the ground there on the left and right. And you see one of your chalk marks, Colcoat, that you had put there, you know, probably like an hour ago by now. And Harold goes to kind of like move off in one of the directions, and you guys could swear that you already went in that direction when faced with this exact same tree.
Harold.
The spider turns and looks at you when you guys kind of pause there for a moment.
Would you know how much longer it would take to reach the ship, or do you feel that you are lost?
The spider waves some arms in the air, and I would say that you're going to have to roll insight to see if you can tell what he's saying.
Whatever, I'll just have him draw something in the
Does
sand.
Earl
It's
speak
fine.
spider?
Exactly.
Of course I don't.
Yeah,
speak
you have
spider.
no idea.
Harold, please raise one leg if you think that you are unable to return to the ship.
The spider pauses for a second and does nothing, and then just
Please
looks at you.
Please tap the ground the number of times, coinciding with the number of minutes it would take to return to the ship.
He taps on the ground like 5 times. And then he kind of turns off in the direction from the tree here. And it's, well, you guys have that sneaking suspicion that that's actually the same direction that you guys went in from before.
Harold. How long have we been following Harold, by the way? It's been like 20
Probably like
minutes?
5 minutes or something.
Oh, only 5 minutes.
5 or
Alright,
10
yeah,
minutes
let's keep
maybe.
following him.
Let's keep going.
Okay. You guys turn in that exact same direction and keep following with him. And 5 or 10 minutes go by, sure enough, and you guys still haven't reached it there.
Well, it appears that Harold does not know the way.
None of us do.
The spider
We're
turns
trapped.
around and points in the direction that it was just walking.
How
Harold.
much longer would you approximate it is now, Harold?
The spider turns and looks off in the direction, and then turns back and taps once.
Let us continue onwards.
Okay.
As long as it's decreasing, I'm happy.
You guys walk for a bit, but it's not a minute that you walk for. You go for about a minute, and then eventually the spider pauses for a second, and then turns left and right like it's looking up and down a street, and then turns back to you guys, and then just kind of like looks at you all. And then while you guys are staring at it, it turns around and then points in a direction. But this is a direction that's like behind you guys.
Yeah, let's keep following him. I mean, the land moves, so.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you guys gonna follow the spider friend around?
Yep.
Okay. The day starts to go on, and gradually the afternoon starts to bleed away, and the heat of the jungle here starts to gradually take its toll. Erlebald, I would like you to make a con save for me, please.
Yo. Does it help that I am now part ranger?
Oh, I would say this is part of your training, yeah, sure.
What would that give me? Would that give me advantage or?
No, I'll just make the DC a bit lower.
Oh, okay. I got a. Oh, I have a +7 to con saves. 14.
Okay. You can feel the heat. It's very uncomfortable, but it's not enough to put you out of commission. Though, how your spirits are doing, who knows, as you guys follow Harold for half an hour, and then eventually Harold turns around and just looks at you guys. The blank expression of his spider features there as he turns around and just stops moving.
It's okay, Harold. We're all lost. But we'll get out, don't worry. There must be some way.
He goes and rests by a tree.
Look, I'm going to see where the temple is. Hopefully it's not too far away. Hopefully it's getting later in the day. So I'll go up, see what I can see where the mountains are, see where the sun is.
Make
see
a
what the
luck
temple is.
check, please.
God, it'd be so good if we just been in the same place.
Yeah.
2!
The temple looks remarkably far away this time, and when you look over, you think it's maybe like an hour in the opposite direction. Not only that, but it looks like the sun has moved a decent amount. It's probably like 1 or 2 now.
If it's... How... Is it late enough that we could see maybe a little twinkle in the sky?
2 p.m.? No.
Alright, maybe not.
Twinkle, twinkle, sun, get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I don't know what weird part of the hemisphere you're on, but 2 p.m. is no stars.
Listen, you know what?
Listen, if we're like
Things
far
are
enough
different
north
down
of
here in
south-
Florida.
Spooky things happening in Florida.
Listen, shit just doesn't work like you think it should.
Breaking news: Florida man sees stars during the day.
Isn't
Throws
it like a...
darts for a living.
Isn't Florida just like a giant swamp or something?
In theory, yes. In
Like
practice,
houses
just
sink into
a
the
lot
ground there?
of people addicted to bath salts. It's a big
Right.
problem.
Of course.
the real swamp was the bath salts we made along the way.
Okay, so you guys are here, stuck in an area. You know, it's like a thick little spot with a bunch of gnarly trees. Some of them actually look kind of familiar. You see like a number of paths leading off into random directions.
Well, looks like we're about an hour away from that temple now. Maybe we should head back in that direction until nighttime.
How far away would you say the temple is? Like an hour away? 2 hours?
About an hour or so.
Well, let us travel for half an hour in that direction before checking again.
Maybe the trick is to go and close your eyes so you can't be tricked by the illusions of the jungle.
I feel like it is the ground moving, not our eyes. Or the trees, or I guess it would be your eyes, wouldn't it?
Don't let me walk into anything.
I would like to do an experiment. An illusion. I want to take like let's say 100-foot piece of rope
Okay.
and tie it in like a straight line from like one tree to like another to another. So I have 100 feet connecting 3 trees in a straight line. I want to like walk back along it to make sure it is actually in a straight line.
Sure. You go ahead
just
and make a
above head
triangle, attaching rope to 3 trees.
While he's doing this, I'm just gonna scratch into a big tree trunk. If you're reading this, you're already dead.
Thank you for that, Colco.
So I can't even do it in a straight line.
Huh? Oh, you
No,
want to
I
do
wanna-
a line instead of a triangle?
Yes.
Sure. Okay. So you do a line then, and go along there.
Okay. Like I go back and check it is actually a line.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you walk up its length. What's the total length of it?
Probably like 100 feet.
Sure. Okay.
Okay. Burlebald,
Yes.
I'd like you to face in this direction. Close your eyes and attempt to walk straight.
He starts closing his eyes and walking straight.
Okay. I'd like you to make a dexterity saving throw, please.
Deck saves.
Can't even walk.
Hurlabald? Get out of here. Yeah, that's a... Oh, never mind, I'm not proficient. That's a 23.
Okay. Erlebald goes walking off. In the thick jungle here, you see him go through some bushes off in that direction, and as he does, hits a snag there and almost trips, but just sort of does like a stagger step fumble, and then just, keeps going. And
So I'm like following him as he does. Is he walking in like a roughly straight line?
yeah, it looks like it, though with his eyes closed, it's not a perfect straight line. He does start to veer eventually.
I mean, I'll call to him, I guess, when he gets to the end of that line.
Sure.
I'm
Oh,
uncertain how we can proceed.
Okay. I'd like a luck roll, please.
I got this.
I'm leaving you back. Yo.
Okay. Colcoat, you and Harold, Dominic, and his Spectre are just kind of hanging around here. And meanwhile, off in the distance, Macnar, you call for Earl to stop when he gets towards the end of the rope.
Does he stop?
Yeah, Earl stops. He's not a madman with just reckless abandon. No, fuck you. I'll stop what I want, bitch. Alright, so, can I open my eyes now?
Yes.
Alright, wonderful. So, what did that teach us? Where are we?
I'm not certain. It did not give me the answer that I was hoping for.
There's only one thing I know for certain. The dart is nearby. I feel that if I close my eyes, my heart may guide the way.
Do you just, close your eyes and walk into the jungle?
No, he's
And we never saw him again. The end.
I mean, he's, waiting for people to
Sure,
either shoot down or accept.
sure.
Why don't you just tie a rope around Earl,
Oh, you're not
and
there.
we can follow him on that?
Yeah, you're like 100 and something feet away.
We'll walk back to him.
Okay, so you guys go back. You eventually return and meet the group.
Oh my god, we found our way back.
It's a small miracle.
Oh, that 18 was for, I see.
Perhaps there is some merit to Earl's idea.
What?
We can tie a rope to Earl's waist and have him lead us blindly through the forest.
No, that was a joke.
No, follow your heart, damn it.
No, that's not a
You
good
may
idea.
have an attachment to the golden dart. It may lead you in the correct direction without needing to know the right way.
Sometimes I just say things and see if you'll believe them.
And this
Precisely.
time we did.
Your expectations are shockingly low of me.
I think we have high expectations. I think you can follow your heart and find the temple.
Alright, well, that aside, what should we do? Should we wait till nightfall and then I can lead us to the temple?
I believe we should make use of the time we have until the sun sets.
There, is that tight enough? It's already tied up to his waist. I was tying it
We're
while he was
tying
talking.
a rope to Earl's waist and just telling him to go walk in the direction he thinks the dart is.
Okay.
If all else fails, tonight, the stars. But I trust your heart as well.
Well, let's try it. Maybe. Yeah. Who? Yeah, okay. Okay.
Believe in yourself, Earl.
Alright, he's closing his eyes, he's feeling out with his hands.
Okay.
Alright, I think I feel something. No, that's the one. He's just muttering to himself.
I want to cast guidance on him.
Sure.
All of a sudden, oh, okay. Oh, yeah, it's this way. Come on, guys, follow me.
Okay. Eyes closed, you go wandering off into the jungle. Sometimes you bump into trees, other times trip over branches. It's not a super fun process, but it is interesting just kind of trying to follow where it is that you feel like the thing might be. Now, while this is happening, you guys eventually have a moment where, you know, a few minutes later, that telltale event happens where you get to the tree that Colcoat is written on, which says, if you're reading this, you're already dead. And
That wasn't for me.
Wait,
It's for someone else.
What are you guys talking about? Can I open my eyes?
Please continue, Earl.
Oh, okay.
You don't want to demoralize him.
He just keeps talking, I guess.
We're giving it like at least an hour or two until like maybe 4 o'clock.
Sure.
Earl's not
Yeah,
doing
we
this
get to-
more than like 2 hours tops. That's being generous.
Okay. You guys go off for a while and a while and a while, and eventually an hour or so goes by, and you guys have not uncovered the temple nor the ship. Earl, you've been fumbling around without looking at anything for about an hour.
If I climb a tree, are we closer to?
Roll luck.
Over the course of this hour, Earl has gotten more and more confident. Like at first he was just bumbling forward, but now he's sure. He's right on the cusp of getting this start.
So
And
that's
to-
12.
And to pad your ego, perhaps, Colcoat, when you look over the tree, it does look like you're closer, though not as much as, you know, you would expect given how much you've been walking, and it's not even in the same direction.
Well, it might be in a different direction now, but we're a bit closer. I think your heart is working.
Hmm.
But it has to go this
Exactly
way now.
as I
And I'll
suspected.
point him where I saw it.
Now, watch closely, Colcoat. And be quiet. Shh, shh, shh. He throws a dart up into the air.
Okay.
Whatever direction it lands, like, from his perspective, he's gonna walk in the direction the dart lands.
Okay. You hear the dart land in a direction, and turn and walk off towards it.
My father taught me that trick.
Is it the right direction?
It's definitely not.
Doesn't matter, follow the dart.
Follow the dart.
Okay.
God damn it. What the fuck are we doing?
Over the next little while, the lighting gradually starts to change, and you guys know that it must be getting a bit later on in the afternoon, though you haven't found the place yet. And at this point, when you guys make the realization that you still haven't reached the temple, we'll go to a brief 5-10 minute break.
This fucking game, man. Alright, I'm gonna go get myself some hot chocolate. I will return.
Yeah, I'm gonna go drink. I'll be right back.
Beer beat.
Yo, yo.
Yo.
Whoa.
Is everyone back? Oh, no, Alicia.
Oh, no, I think. Oh, yeah.
God, we need to come up with a plan. Or at least understand what this is. Because it's gotta be... Because your inchworm plan meant that it's not just, like, moving. There's also some magic fuckery going on with it, right?
I mean, or you're really bad at going in a straight line.
It's possible. But also, I think the most telling one was the hunter killer, right? Because it should be able to take us right there, right?
Hmm?
The hunter killer should be able to take us right to the ship, right?
In theory, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean, either the ship was moving so fast towards us that we couldn't catch up, or so fast away from us that we couldn't catch up, or there's some, like, weird magic fuckery that's messing directly with, like, sense of direction.
Mm-hmm.
Although, then it wouldn't make too much sense why we couldn't guide ourselves with the stars.
Well, I mean, even if we can guide ourselves with stars in a like navigational direction, we don't know which direction the temple's in. Like it's constantly changing.
There's a secret in the stars. Right, Earl? Right? There's like a magical secret key in the stars.
Listen, there's something. Favechi gave us a weird ass thing. I'm confident. And the temple doesn't move that much. Like it.
Favechi gave him a map.
Yeah, Favechi gave me a map, and then I bought my own separate star charting thing, so I
What
would
was on
know
that
how to
map?
actually use it.
That map, was there a clearing? Because like maybe we should have looked in the clearing that you...
Aleutian never gave me a map. He just said that there was. He said a lot of things, but I know there's some weird shit on there. It's in my notebook somewhere. Oh shit, at the top, lot 7 from the engine room. Still notes from the first session.
I'm back.
Hello?
Hello. Daxon hasn't returned? Strange.
Or he said he's running late. He said, he's running so late.
How late is he?
So late. Okay.
He's so late that he's late being late.
Good joke. Well, we can continue here.
Yep.
He might get you more lost, who knows. You guys will be on the right track and he'll come in with an idea, and then...
He was probably fucking watching the stream while at like a red light or something, saw the fuckery we were doing, and just decided to take a long ass detour.
It just turns left. No, not going that way. Scenic route. Alright.
So we're still just wandering aimlessly through the jungle, right?
Mm-hmm.
I thought we were still letting you follow your heart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
In
yeah.
the direction of the temple. Or no, in the direction of the dart right now.
You got a blind Erlebald on the leash there.
Hey. The true eyes and the soul.
No. You guys travel for a bit further and a bit further. And eventually another half an hour or so goes by. And when you hop into the tree to check, it looks like the thing hasn't moved. Well, it's definitely moved, but it's not any closer or any further away.
Are we getting anywhere?
It doesn't look like it's really moving right now. But maybe that's a good thing.
Well, at least we're not moving. further away.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe we need to walk in the opposite direction.
I see.
So people get into the labyrinth going in, but they needed to go out, and then when they try to go out, just get further in. Maybe.
You're a genius of your own cold code.
Yeah, let's walk for 10 minutes and then see.
Earl nods. Occasionally he throws some darts out to just sort of guide the way. But I realized I still have like 60 of these things in my inventory.
Okay. You guys actually only get about another minute in a direction before bumping into something. Who's at the front of the group? Probably Earl?
Probably.
Okay. Earl, you reach forward, grab this huge fern leaf and kind of move it to the side, pushing the shrub out of the way as you step forward. And when you do, these huge fronds kind of push away and reveal a little scene in front of you. And you see what looks to be a skeleton that is sitting at the base of a tree, wearing what looks like a bunch of sort of beigeish clothing and a hat. And it just lays there with like a pack beside it. And you see what looks like a bow as well on the ground near the thing.
Actually, Earl sees none of this. His eyes are still closed.
Oh, sorry. You guys follow Earl and see that he's walked straight past what looks like the thing I've just described.
Whoa, Earl! Whoa! Your heart has found something.
Oh? What is it?
The skeleton.
Oh.
I don't know what that says
dead
about your
variety.
heart, but he looks pretty dead, yeah.
Maybe this is a sign.
Well, let's
What is he
rummage around
wearing?
in his stuff. I don't think he needs. So, see what's on him. If he's got anything on him or is in his bag.
Sure. When you open up the pack, something inside of it moves all of a sudden.
I think there's a bug in it. Someone get it. Mackinac.
When you drop the bag on the ground there, a large centipede comes crawling out of it. It's like a couple inches thick from one side to the other, not including just how long the snaking thing is. And it just kind of crawls out from the backpack and then, wanders away.
Kill it.
As a blind man, can I kill this centipede? I mean, I want to attempt to throw a dart at it regardless.
Make a
but,
perception check.
Yeah, I was wondering how you wanted to handle it. Where's...
Is Relic back?
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait, I don't know why I rolled that with advantage. Forget that.
Just one.
I assumed it was with disadvantage. Oh, natural one, baby.
Earl pivots there as you call this out, Colcoat, and then turns and throws a dart, and it hits like a random tree, like 5 feet away. Like it's like a huge miss, not even close. He doesn't even throw at the ground.
Alright, I got
You
him.
almost had him. Pretty
Oh,
close.
I thought I hit him.
Almost.
It's a bit difficult to throw darts while blindfolded.
Well, look, take your blindfold off and look in that bag, or Mackinac. I don't want any more bugs jumping out it.
Earl just quickly takes off. I assume he just used part of the rope, and then moves over to look into the bag.
Sure. You find what appears to be some random crumpled pieces of paper, like some wrapping. Most of it feels kind of like wax paper that you would see around rations. You find a random spoon, a tinder box, what looks like some watered down and ruined matches, just a bunch of random adventuring gear. And then eventually you pull out what looks like a little crumpled piece of paper, but this feels like parchment. And when you open up the thing, you see a small note that's been written there, and it's scribbled in a somewhat frantic way, where the lines are sort of spewed with ink, as somebody must have put this down with a bit of passion. And it says, Stripe Runner has finally run off, just as his name would suggest. I told Galad not to mess with the guy, and, well, now that Furball's left us here to die. Though, if the maps are right, we should be close. I can't imagine it's much farther, but we're running out of food. And every time that we move forward, I feel like we end up where we were before.
Well,
Seems
did
that
Favechi mention names? Do you remember, Earl, when he gave us that map?
no, I don't believe so. I remember asking the first time, and he told me that he couldn't disclose such a thing.
Well, it says that it might be close. That's probably a good sign.
Well, probably.
Maybe this one just died because that stripey friend abandoned him.
Colcoat.
Yes.
This is where the other cats live, isn't it?
Yeah, there could be. We generally like the desert, but the jungle's not so bad. I don't really know too much about over here. More about Skyfall. Maybe the Tabaxi do live in the jungle here.
Well, we should, I would say, keep moving, but I'm not sure if that is getting us anywhere.
Well, look, we found this thing. This is progress. Keep
guess-
going away from what we thought we were going to. Yes.
Earl just shrugs, closes his eyes, and keeps walking,
Okay.
occasionally sinking a few more of my 60 fucking darts into one of these trees.
Okay. You guys follow after Earl longer and longer, and longer and longer, and longer. You just walk, and you just walk. Sometimes you see odd stuff, an animal carcass, other times like a little clearing, something like that. But eventually, the night starts to come on, and you can see that there's darkness that is beginning to fall from the tree canopy as the sun is no longer directly overhead.
How far away? Like, whenever we find like a new little thing that seems new, I'd probably pop up and take a look and see if we're making progress.
Sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. By the time it's getting dark, it looks like it's maybe 20 minutes away.
Well, closer than before, I guess. It looks about 20 minutes away. Stars are coming, Earl. Hope you know what you're doing.
Earl's just looking up. He can't. I just want to keep asking this. Like, see anything useful just yet? Or, I know you said it was darker.
It's getting dark. You think in a couple hours, you'll be able to see some stars appear.
Alright, in the meantime, he's gonna continue to move through echolocation.
Sure. You guys continue to follow Earl as he just follows his heart here. And eventually, night begins to fall, but I need a luck roll from you guys.
Oh, who wants to do it?
No, you got it, Earl.
Hey, that's not a 1. It's a 14.
It's not bad.
Okay. While traveling along here, you hear other creatures in the jungle, sometimes noting the sound of what must be large insects or maybe some prowling thing nearby, but nothing attacks. And after a while, the darkness becomes almost too much. And when night falls, the canopy up above blocks out what little light you might get. And though surely the stars must be visible if you pop above the tree canopy, down here on the forest floor, it's just like nothing. You don't see anything. And then, something odd. As you guys are standing about, and Colcoat, you're, likely about to be sent up into the tree here, you see what looks like faint murmurings of light down here on the forest floor. And see what looks like little fireflies that kind of like move around in between the trees and whatnot. It's not really enough to cast light to, work like a torch or anything, but there's like little glowy bits kind of moving around.
Yeah, you guys, can you see that over there? It's some fireflies or something. A bit of light.
It is.
Maybe we should stick to them. But we're not in complete darkness.
Yes, that would be preferable. Though, with the trees as thick as they are, I'm starting to doubt my ability to lead us to the temple.
Well, why don't you look at the stars now? Open your eyes. You're going to be blind if you've got them closed or open, unless you've got the fireflies near you anyways.
Earl opens his eyes and then looks straight up at the stars.
Okay, you can't see them.
He's gonna try to climb a tree.
I'll help
Acrobatics.
Can I help him?
Oh shit, my acrobatics is great.
Then I won't help.
But my roll may not be. Oh, yeah, my roll's pretty great too. That's a 24.
Colcoat gives you an assist and you begin to climb one of the trees. You can't really see what you're doing, but you just kind of grope around very carefully. And eventually, your head pops through the top here. You feel what must be some sort of flying bug that's on your cheek there, and then it takes off and flutters away. And you can see up above what looks like a blanket of stars coating over the black night sky.
He's gonna immediately start, find some place to actually hook himself on or sit down somewhere so he can put it in his lap. But he's gonna pull out the map Favecci gave him and his own star charting book, the astrology thing, to try to see if he can mentally map out where it is.
Okay. I would say that you realize there's a problem pretty quick in this. The first of which is that you can't really see your map or your tools because it's so dark out. But the second thing, when you finally do manage to cast like a little bit of light, either through a torch or maybe just a fortunate little ray of moonlight, you see that the little map that Favecci's given you doesn't really have any coordinates for you to really base where you are. And you don't think that there's really any help here. With the stars available, you can move north, south, west, east, at least, if the jungle doesn't keep you from doing so. But there's nothing to really point out where exactly the temple would be there within it.
What can I? Or what does... Will you re-describe to me what Favecci's map is? Because it wasn't 100% clear on what it actually is.
Yeah, Favecci's map is like a small localized map of the temple. So, let's say this box here is like the temple with some little structures and things like that, and maybe like a little bit of the jungle around it. Give me 2 seconds. There we go. So, you got like a little bit of jungle here and there. The map is only about yay big, right? And it doesn't have any other coordinates on it, so there's nothing to really show you where in the jungle overall this would be.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are there any... No, this is probably a dead end, but I can identify at least cardinal directions with the stars, right?
You don't know where you guys are exactly, but you can make a rough guess from the star charts. And I would
Yeah.
say that you think that you guys are probably about... Sorry, where are we? Probably about here. Give or take an inch or two on the board, perhaps.
Alright, Earl's going to climb on down.
Okay.
Alright, well, some bad news. With the trees being as thick as they are, I am not going to be able to lead us to the temple purely off of the stars.
Poses a problem.
This is starting to become a much greater problem than I anticipated.
As Earl's speaking, you get a brief glimpse of him as like a little firefly lands on his nose and then flies off.
Oh, I'm just gonna druid craft some light because
Sure.
that'd be much easier.
So if it's like pitch black or pretty dark, like are there a lot of these fireflies all over the place?
Yeah, like not immediately around you, but you know, you can see through little bits of foliage, like off in the distance. There's always these little lights kind of like bobbing about. You see them on the trees, crawling around on the ground, flying all over the place.
Yes,
So
I'm not. Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Darrow.
I feel like, well, Harold,
The spider looks at you.
would it be possible for you to teleport yourself to the hunter-killer?
The spider waves its arms in the air.
What does that mean?
Tap for yes. Just keep waving for no.
He taps on the ground, and then looks over and points at Mackinac.
Mackinac, I feel that we probably need to expend some fuel here.
Wait. If that works, then maybe we just try. Look, I have one more idea. Maybe we can't get through the forest because something is trying to protect it. Maybe something's watching us. What if in the dark we all just super quiet and I can use some spells so that no one can track us? Maybe we can just sneak super quiet like. No one will know that we get to the temple.
We might as well try it. If that fails, we always have the backup option.
Hey, Harold, can you carry anybody that can't see in the dark?
The spider lowers itself down.
Who can't see?
Oh yeah, I'm a human, I can't see shit. I guess I have druidcraft to light the way, but...
No lights, because then they'll know
Yeah.
where we are. We have to be silent.
Oh shit, this is... I'm less confident about this.
You don't
No,
have
no,
dark
it's-
vision either, though, Colcoat. Unless you
Or
got it from your class.
do I do.
Oh, okay.
Spell from level up.
Very nice.
Oh,
So I mean, if we I don't know if it's gonna work at all, but I don't know what else to try. If we can just go in the dark and I can use pass without trace on us, and then dark vision on myself,
Sure.
and then
You
I'll
guys
just
can-
lead.
Stealth
We
up
can-
if you want.
Kind of like tie ourselves, like the rope to the spider, so I don't get lost from him. Then just
Okay.
like, silence and darkness using the fireflies and dark vision.
So you're like ahead of the spider, and everybody else is just riding on it as you go roaming through the jungle?
Yeah.
Okay. There's not much to be seen here. You hook up some rope to yourself and the spider, and cast this spell. And the spider, despite its size, is already like a little bit silent, but the spell really helps, and you're pretty experienced at this thing as well. And go ahead and make a stealth check for me. I'll make one for Harold. Well, it's not great, but you get a big bonus from Pass Without Trace.
Oh no! Well, it's still not terrible with my bonuses. That is actually going to be a 18.
Okay.
You got a 2 and then it ended up being an 18? Holy shit.
Yeah, Pass gives you like a plus 10, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. On top of whatever other stuff you have.
God, that's so good.
So you go roaming off, and as you do so, you just kind of pick, whatever direction more or less seems right. And
I would have probably had Earl try to like point me based on what the stars were saying, and then go that direction.
Okay. You go wandering along, and the fireflies don't appear to be the only thing luminous here. At one point, while you're maybe like a few minutes off from where you were before trying this thing, your presence seems to be enough to disturb some creatures in an area. And as you kind of step into another little clearing here, you see what looks like a centipede in front of you. And the reason you can see it is because the plates on its back and like the tips of its legs are glowing a sort of like reddish color, and it runs like scurrying up a tree and then wraps around it and disappears from view. And you see other things like that too, like the green light of the fireflies is interspersed with like other little colors. You see like some red and like some blue on some crawling thing on the ground. It's like there's all sorts of little pinpricks here and there. Do you continue?
Yes, I'll continue.
Okay. You keep going for a bit and keep going for a bit. And then at some point while you're wandering along, you see the various multicolored lights kind of peel away. And the reason they peel away is because you stepped out of the jungle and you see what looks like the stars up ahead. Like you're in a clearing or something. And the stars are blotted out by what looks like a large pyramid-shaped silhouette.
Fucking God.
I will keep my mouth shut and keep walking forward until everybody gets out and we get closer.
Sure. You keep going and you keep going. And then eventually, you guys kind of hear this, like those of you who are on the spider. You see the sky up ahead. Maybe you're just in a clearing or something. And then you hear what sounds like, Colcoat's footsteps landing on, like, stone or something.
Colcoat. What
Get up close to it.
I can't understand what you're saying, Colcoat.
Closer. Come here.
Earl slinks off the spider and moves over to where he thinks Colcoat is.
Sure.
Oh, you can't see out here. What are you doing? Stay on the spider. But look, I think we found it.
I know. I can sense it.
Hurry up and get inside before something happens and we decide to show up in a different place in the... Quick, in here.
Okay. You run
Can't
forward,
believe that
Colcoat,
worked.
and the darkened silhouette gradually becomes this sort of black and white object that you can see as you get closer towards it. And you're staring directly at like a large stone archway, and there's like massive broken pillars on your left and your right. And the archway's open. If there was a gate here at one point, it's long since rotted and fallen away. You're standing at the mouth of the temple. There's no mistaking it. You're at the Temple of the Golden Dart.
Earl, if you could see this, you're quite excited. I think this is it.
Good job, Colcoat.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Look.
As you motion forward, Colcoat, you momentarily forget that your friend can't see or anything, but what you see is actually quite interesting. In black and white here, you can see with your dark vision that there are still some reliefs on the stonework that have survived. And you see on the left and the right hand side of the archway, as though holding the thing up, are depictions of humanoid figures holding their hands above themselves. And though it's like a crude representation, something about them kind of reminds you of Earl.
You know, Earl, you like this place in the daytime. These might be statues of your ancestors.
That is quite interesting. I expected it to be, well, more seeable, but
Well,
I'm
you
sure
know,
I'll be
for now,
amazed.
let's just get everybody in here, and then we can turn on the Mackinac light. Get the torch or two.
You guys huddle into some sort of foyer here. At the front vestibule, you're in like a big hall that goes down into some darkness.
Well, Earl, you want to check this out, don't you?
Absolutely.
Probably safe to light the torch now.
Earl just druid craft some light himself.
Sure. The light casts around in maybe, 20 feet or so. You can see the archway that you guys have just gone through and the hall that goes into just blackness further up. The stone that you are currently surrounded by looks like a very sort of weathered stone. It's gray with moss kind of caked into like all the different nooks and crannies.
Well then, Colcoat. Let's explore this place.
Could have been quite some time before someone has been here, so be careful. Make sure we don't rush into anything.
Certainly. I know my ancestors may have dart-themed traps. And believe it or not, they're very effective. Well, if this is my ancestors, that is.
Yeah, it looked quite like you. Alright,
My
well,
father would kill to see this place. He spoke of it day and night. Temple of old. Or, not temple, I guess I'm projecting, but he spoke of the dart. He would have wanted to be here.
I'm sure he's quite proud that you were able to make it, but next step, get a dart in your hands.
Earl nods. And then he's just gonna start exploring this place, walking forward.
Okay. You guys continue, and Colcoat, with your dark vision, you're the first one to actually see what's up ahead. The expedition comes to a halt as you find yourself in front of a blocked-off passage. There's no door to the left or towards the right. Perhaps there's something hidden around here, but all that you see straight up ahead is a doorway of two stone slabs that meet in the center. And there's a whole litter of like skeletons and dead bodies in front of the door, like pushed to the left and right. And you can see like weapons all over the ground and such, and also a copious amount of darts all over the place.
Hey, wait a minute. What are the skeletons? What? This is not good.
They're skeletons.
Yes, look, Earl.
As you walk up closer, Earl, your light casts on them, and you see piles of bodies, all long since decayed, just skeletons now. But they're piled on like the left and right hand side of the door, so like...
What?
Oh shoot.
Would that make me think that the door has been opened at some point since all these people died?
You could think that.
looking at, I mean, Earl's not good at dating bodies or figuring out, if the skeletons were skeletons because they decomposed there or if they were reanimated. He doesn't care about that. He moves closer to the darts. Tries to determine, these are battle scars. How long ago would he guess that these darts were embedded into these walls?
Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Nice. What is my investigation? Oh, alright. Let's roll high.
Oh, that's a reroll.
Is that hot? Okay.
Also, welcome back, Dominic.
Hi. I'm sorry.
It's
I
all good,
very
dude.
much apologize.
Life happens. 13 investigation. Okay, you're unable to tell how old these darts are. You don't know if they're as old as the bodies, or if they were maybe dated to a different time, older or perhaps more recent. It's tough to say. All you know is that the darts seem like they're, like classic little wooden metal darts, and they're all over the place in copious amount. Maybe like 100 of them scattered in random spots, though mostly around the dead bodies. Now, you also notice something else, which is that while looking around, you see that the door in front of you has what looks like a small handle at the center, though it's a handle like a hand hold, not something that actually turns, just like a little groove that you could, kind of get a grip on.
As I'm like trying to jam Dominic's hand on it. Oh, you're feeling better. Oh, I'm so glad, Dominic.
Hello, what are you doing with my hand?
Oh, well, we're trying to get in this door, because look at all these dead people.
Oh my
It's a bad
god,
spot.
what is with this humidity? What's going on here? Whoa, and I'm gonna blink a few times. Why is everything so bright all of a sudden?
It's actually very dark.
No,
Yes, I think you might be blind.
No, it's extremely bright right now. You can see all around us. Maybe 120 feet. What's going on?
Sorry.
Well, there's a bunch of bodies here, and they're trying to get in this door, because this does not look safe.
No, it does not. Did we have a sleep real quick?
Nope.
No, still haven't had a sleep. All right. Oh wow. Okay, so
Wait,
at least
didn't we have a long rest when we grabbed those rations?
Oh, yeah, sure, you guys have had a long rest then.
Okay, we
Yeah.
have. All right,
could've
Spectre
sworn
ate with us. Oh. Yeah. Mine. Spectre.
Jeez, now I gotta retcon like the whole session.
Fuck. It can only last until we're long rest.
Look, we're trying to get in here. We found the temple. We're going to get the dart for Earl.
Oh Jesus! What is this? I'm just gonna take 3 steps back.
No, it's the hunter killer. You know him.
Oh, that's what he actually looks like. Fuck.
Yeah, that's what I said. So fucking cool. Holy
The spider,
shit.
in all its grandiose terrifyingness, turns towards you and shakes one of its legs in a non-threatening sort of gesture, almost like a person waving. It seems quite docile.
Uh-huh. Is Hal in there right now?
Yes, but he cannot speak. We can speak to him.
Alright, well, hi
Gesture.
Hal. How are you?
Harold.
Harold waves one of his arms at you.
I'll take that as a yes. We'll pick up Hunter Killer sign language at some point, I guess. What's going on? Are we in the Temple of the Golden Dart?
Well, no, because this door won't open.
Oh,
We are
Oh,
about to
We're on the
stop.
doorstep of the temple of the Golden Dart.
I'm guessing there are words on the door.
No, there's nothing. Just the handhold here that's shaped like half of a bowl.
I've been climbing trees all day. Mackinac been coming up with plans. Earl's been following his heart. Touch the door. Do it,
what?
man. Open the door. Quick.
I'll mage hand try to push it.
Sure.
Guessing that'll do nothing.
Oh, smart thinking.
You put a mage hand on the door and press, and the little 5 feet of pressure, or sorry, 5 pounds of pressure that it can exert doesn't seem to be enough to budge the door one bit. You dislodge a little bit of dust from the door.
Well,
Earl
I guess I have
walks
to
up to it.
What's that,
I'll
Earl?
just run it.
Earl walks up to it. He opens the door with his hands.
When you put your hand on there and go to open the door, I need a dexterity saving throw from all of you guys.
Nice.
Nice.
Yes.
I was born to dodge dexterity saving throws. That's a natural.
Oh, now
20.
you guys can roll. Jesus.
I had to show back up. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, Lucian. I failed.
Oh, good.
That's a 20 for me.
20, Carol.
17.
Did anybody get under a 15?
Me.
Macnar, you are caught here. As Erlebald puts his hand on the door, instantly you guys hear something, and suddenly a flurry of darts from both sides of the walls just go shooting past you. And all of you guys get hit, but you get it the worst. And you guys take... let's see here. Macnar, you take 17 damage, and the rest of you guys take 8 each.
No, are these from separate attacks or one attack?
This
I do
would be
have
like
the-
a combined amount from a bunch of darts flying at you, but we could say just like one strikes you real bad.
Okay. Because I have the reduction, so I don't know if that was applying or not.
Yeah, you can apply that once, I'd say.
Okay. And then I'll do the feel no pain, just like reduce it a whole bunch. What is that? 12. Is that 17?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I take 2 damage.
Things kind of settle down a moment later as you finish hearing all the darts kind of clatter down to the ground. All of you guys kind of wounded and everything.
Damn it, Earl, why didn't you know the darts shoot at us? This is your temple.
I apologize. I mentioned it earlier, but there will probably be more traps up ahead.
Harold
I'm
backs
gonna
away.
stand back here.
Ow. Ow.
Just be thankful they're not poisoned.
Is it open at least?
It doesn't look like
Does
the door
the-
has moved a bit. Granted, you only put your hand on it for a moment before you were all attacked.
Is there any really long bone?
Long bones? Yeah, there's like leg bones and stuff like that laying around.
On second thought, I was going to pick up a bone and push the door, but from this distance, I will summon I guess a longsword is as much as I can summon. Can't be two-handed. Can it? Wait, can it? It might be. I'm gonna double check.
Longswords can be two-handed for 1d10 versatile damage.
Ooh,
That's what you're asking.
any weapon. All right, a lance, and I'll try to poke it open with a lance.
You press on the door, and nothing happens. Poking against the stone yields nothing.
Well, maybe it has to do with something like the bowl up at the... Maybe we have to fill the bowl with darts. As in the darts that flew at us.
Earl just
Poke this
fucking,
fish.
reaches into his pack that's filled with like 60 fucking darts.
You just hear 100 pencils rummaging around in there.
Just grabs a handful and plops it in there.
Earl, those are quality darts. The darts on the ground will do just fine.
Earl, you lose 8 darts as you put them down onto the bowl there. And you see a glow that comes from the bowl here. And there's a brief shimmer. And a ray of light goes searing up and down the length of the door crack, just either direction. And then suddenly you hear stone just shifting on stone as it kind of like pulls apart. And there's a massive room in front of you.
Oh shit.
I know what
Oh,
I'm
so
about.
Earl's only, I guess. Jeez, they didn't have to shoot him. They could have just opened it for him when he touched. What have you found, Earl?
I'm not sure, but the dart will guide the way. And he just starts exploring through this, whatever the fuck this is.
Sure. Are you stepping forward?
Absolutely.
Okay. You move into a large room. With a little bit of light that you have, you can see the stone floor there, and everything seems normal, but you can barely see the walls, or really the extent of how big the room is. Though you can hear from the echo, it's probably pretty large.
Are the rest of them... Are you guys following me?
Yeah,
I don't
I'll
want
go.
to...
See what it looks like.
Dundy Dundies.
Yeah.
I like how you had to squiggle him in. It's a little things, dude.
Alright.
So Dominic can see a lot. I can see a little bit.
Oh, you have dark vision too? How'd you get that?
Level 7.
Oh shit!
I just got enough.
What gives you that?
Okay.
By leveling up and get another spell.
Oh dang!
Inside of the room, you see what looks like a pair of pedestals, like directly center. And in the center of the room, these two pedestals, clearly raised up there, have on the ground, laying around them, what looks like the stone remnants of some shattered statues, lost to maybe combat damage or just age alone, who knows. But you see, like, oh, that looks roughly like a head, or that's like a broken piece of arm made of stone. Whatever was here has crumbled and fallen away. Dominic, with your 120, you can see the back end of the room, which has another large archway there, and you can also see one on the left-hand side.
Well, we have multiple doorways. Two to be precise. Oh, those are big boy statues. Dang!
Were they not the same size? Was that bothering you?
There we go.
Still big boy statues.
So there's like a thing on the side there, and then there's one here as well. It's not exact.
Well, Earl, does your heart tell you to go... Well, which direction?
My heart tells me that we should check both doors. He just starts to move over to the left one.
I want to go check out the statues.
Now,
I'll keep...
Earl, I would like a history check from you, please, and I'd like you to roll with advantage.
Ooh. I'm very happy. That is an... Do you have any bonuses to history? No, that's an 11.
An 11. Okay. As you step forward, memories of the tales that your father told you as a boy suddenly start to find physical things to latch onto. And as you look at the different weatherings of the stone and the layout of the room, and then stare down the hallway of this next area as you walk up to it, you get the faint sense that this has been described to you. And as you kind of look down that hallway, you try your best to remember what it is that your father said about the temple and what might lie there. And you can't quite remember it. But with any luck, maybe it'll start to come to you as you make your way through here.
Yeah, at this point, he's really just trying to soak up everything. Look at all the walls, look at the statues especially.
Yeah, some of the things, like the two statues, those match up with what your father had told you. Like, he had never been to the temple, but this is a tale carried down by generation to generation, and it looks like, well, they must have been right. at least partially.
He just in complete awe, staring at the statues, moving around them. He was going for the store, but he just sort of started circling it, right? Just sort of really taking it in.
Now, when you kind of get to this point, you see the next archway, and unlike the other one, which just produces a long hallway, which is completely open, by the way, there's no doorway there, this one, once again, has what looks to be stone doors that block your path. There's handles here as well, and it's again shaped like a bowl. But above it, you see what looks like some like stone symbols there, and you're able to see in Old Common what looks like a little phrase, and it simply says, "Only the faithful," over top of the door.
Earl slowly approaches.
Sure. Make another
And-
history check for me as you try to see if you remember anything about this part.
Big dice, big dice.
Hey.
19. Much better.
You can't remember what the hall's supposed to look like. Your father had described it to you, but like so many things from back then, they've kind of become distant memories. But you remember a part of the tale when he'd sit you down and, you'd be ready to go to bed. He'd tell you about the Temple of the Golden Dart and would mention that those couple of words, right? Only the faithful. And he had always told you that when you reached the hall, and the hall that only the faithful can travel through, you would have to proclaim that the dart is best.
True dart.
The dart is best. Knows best. And is. Pulls out a dart and then sets it down in the bowl.
The dart disappears, a flash, and this time the whole hall seems to come alight as the torches that you guys hadn't seen hanging from sconces suddenly burst, and you just, momentarily hear Earl whispering about darts somewhere off in the room, and suddenly, like the whole place is lit. The doors then part, and you see what looks like almost like a church hall, right, with all these rows on the left and right, all these different like little seating arrangements, and on either side there are huge murals that are lit by these torches, which have spread through this spot as well. And at the back end, you see what looks like an altar.
Earl is just slowly continuing to just move forward into the room.
I'm just gonna call out. Do we follow, or is this for you?
He's with
Oh,
darts now, Dominic. I think he knows what he's doing.
Right, no. We'll be here if you need us. And I promise I'll resummon my weapon to not be a lance anymore, but to be a dart. We'll use your game.
Earl's chest fills with pride as he enters the room.
Now, on either side of you, Earl, are these benches. Like there's rows of them. And as you're wandering up, you make out what looks to be a presence. And as you turn over, you see a ghostly figure of a single man who seems to be seated in one of the little benches.
He slowly moves over to the row of bench that the man's on.
Sure, you see him there, he's got his head down like he's in reverence or something, or maybe having like a moment of silence, and he's got his hands together in prayer. And it looks like he's wearing like some robes and maybe some armor as well. He's unfamiliar to you, though. You don't recognize the appearance at all.
He just moves down the row and takes a seat next to him. He's just sort of trying to look him over just to see if, like, I don't know, his presence means anything to him, like a story he might have heard.
Roll luck, please.
I think that's a 4.
Okay.
Yeah, it looks like it.
When you sit down there, the man suddenly starts. Like, he looks up, looks over at you, and you see that his face and his features, they look partially rotted away, decayed, like bits of flesh missing. And when he looks at you, though his mouth is partially mangled and reduced half to bone, you can still hear his voice spectrally coming at you. And he says, "Who are you?" And he kind of like backs away from you suddenly.
I am the faithful.
He reaches into his pocket, and you see he pulls out a handful, and in between each of his fingers is a dart. And he kind of like holds it behind him like he's ready to throw them at you at any moment.
Earl just assumes I guess he was in sort of a praying position when Earl entered the room, right?
Yeah, he was seated there with like his hands together in the seat.
Earl's just gonna mimic that.
Oh, sure.
I mean, he is like darts all over him. Like, it's not like he's gonna show off his darts. He's just gonna
Okay.
try to channel whatever darty feeling he has going on.
Whatever darty feeling he has. Make a let's see here. Make
Is there a dart roll?
Intelligence roll to mimic his actions.
Oh yeah, that's a 12.
Okay.
Or wait, do I have a bonus in intelligence? Nope, that's a 12.
You try and copy the way he was sitting there, and even though he's kind of pulled back, ready to attack you, you just ignore it and kind of put your hands together in prayer and try and mimic him as best you can. And he says, "Why are you here? Who let you in?"
I let me in.
You see, one of his eyes is missing, but the other one kind of narrows as he stares at you. And he says, "No, you're like the others. You've come to desecrate the temple."
Why would I do such a thing?
And the spirit pauses for a second, and then looks off towards the altar, and then turns back and says, "You're after the treasure."
He narrows his eyes a bit at him. If by treasure you mean an artifact sought by my father and his fathers before him, then yes, I am after the golden dart.
When you say that, he looks at you, and he pauses for a second and says, "No. Could you be one of the Wilhelms?"
I am Erlebald Wilhelm.
He kind of lowers the hand that has the darts in them, and he says, "Come closer. Let me see your face."
He stands up and faces him,
Sure.
staring into his eyes and not really looking at the real fucked up teeth.
There's a terrible cold feeling when he reaches out and his ghostly fingers kind of touch along the contours of the side of your face there. And he pauses and he says, "My God, it's you. I've done what I can to protect the temple, but it's been desecrated."
By whom?
"I know not who it was, but I know who they were, what they were after, Wilhelm. They broke into the vault. I beset all the faithful spirits that we had against them, but it wasn't enough.
assume they took the dart.
He bows his head down. And then he looks back at you and he says, "See for yourself."
Earl's gonna stand up. Is he gesturing anywhere to see for myself, or?
Yeah, he points up towards the altar.
Yeah, Earl just approaches it.
Sure. Walking up towards the altar, you don't see anything at first, but when you get close enough to it, you notice that behind there's a staircase that travels down into the stone.
Earl continues forward down the staircase.
The hidden passageway here is a dark thing, and there's no torches to help you, but your druid light is enough, and eventually you emerge into a small little chamber. And in that chamber is a sort of triumphant metallic statue there. And the metallic statue is actually kind of similar to how you look, and your father as well, with like the characteristic wavy hair and an arm outstretched. And he has his hands held in the characteristic way that you've always been shown how to throw a dart, except there's nothing there.
He's gonna, I guess, just look around the room. Not necessarily for anything in specific, just, is there anything else in there?
Sure. You can make a perception or investigation check.
I'm gonna do perception, because my investigation is no bueno. That is a... That's a 17.
17. Looking around, you do notice something. Perhaps the room was damaged, or maybe there was an accident here, but you see what looks like a charred mark in the corner, and it's a blast of sorts, like a radiating out of a sort of like charred ring, and it's probably about like 4 or 5 feet across over in the corner of the room.
Blast mark?
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything, I guess, identifying about it other than it's just like a leftover mark from, I guess, a scuffle?
Tough to say. You don't find really any debris or anything else like that laying around. If you had to guess, this mark is probably put here magically. If it was an explosive, there'd probably be like little bits laying around.
He's just gonna, I guess, look over. It appears to be like a blast mark, or like a mark into the ground as the result of a spell, not like a rune itself, right?
Mm-hmm.
He just rubs his chin a little bit, and then if he doesn't see anything else in the room, he's gonna return back up to the front of the altar.
Okay.
He looks back over to the ghost person. Is he still there?
Mm-hmm.
What should I call you?
I am Brother Breen.
I'm sorry. I don't know why my notes aren't working. Well, Brother Breen, we have much to discuss, as I fully intend on retrieving the golden dart.
He nods to you and he says, "Seeing a Wilhelm has brought me more vigor, but I know that my time on this earth is short. I won't be here very long, now that the temple has been torn apart as it has."
Moments, days, what do you mean?
He kind of holds up his hand towards you, and you can see that every now and then it looks like it becomes more and more faint. Like it kind of fades in and out a little bit. I haven't much time.
Could you tell me all that you know of those that have stolen the dart?
When I awoke, there was a noise in the main hall. I stepped away from my prayers to see what it was, but before I could even get to the door, I heard the sounds of the great sentinels being brought into action, and the stone footfalls. But soon there was just crumbling, and I roused the other spirits here, but well, what came through that door threw such a tempest of magic at me that there was nothing I could do. We were cast down. We fought as hard as we could, taking some of the foul sorcerer's minions with them, but well, we weren't enough.
What did the sorcerer and their minions, what did they look like?
I saw strange demonic creatures, constructs, maybe an orc or some other form of greenskin. Whoever this was, he was either the leader of a motley band or perhaps a... well, I don't know. What does it matter now?
It matters a great deal. Brother Breen. The day is not over. The world will live on when you do not. And in that time, I fully intend on retrieving our legacy.
Make a luck roll for me, please.
Do. That's a natural one.
He starts to grow even more faintly, and this time it's not just parts of him, but his whole form begins to start to vanish, and you can feel almost like a presence in the room that's leaving, like you know it in your bones, in your soul. And he continues and he says, "You're right. He wore robes. He had at his hand, what was it? A wand or a crystal? I don't remember.
Was the crystal green?
No, it wasn't. And there was a terrible sound too when he broke through the door, like a song of some harp or something, as he came in and began to cast us down. His
How
minions
many
were
were
many,
there?
maybe a dozen or so. We killed more than half of them, but he proved to be the real threat. I doubt any of those minions of his could stand up to his power.
Is there anything he said during this, or was this a massacre without words?
No, nothing. I think he hummed or maybe said arcane magics while he threw his spells. But soon none of us were alive anymore, and he made it past. I managed to take cover, and I saw him, well, use some sort of spell to make his way past the hidden stairwell. When I went to go find him and snuck past his minions, that's when I saw that the dart was gone, and he must have left just a burning mark in the corner of the room, fresh smoke. He didn't even take his minions with him. They just gradually left when they found out. I stayed hidden for a time, and then, well, I began to grow weak like I have become now. I've been sitting in prayer, focusing to try and keep it together, but it's not working anymore. I can feel myself unraveling.
Well, Brother Breen, you have been an invaluable asset.
When he calls to you again, his voice sounds distant. Not so much just in it being quiet. It actually sounds like it's further away, like he's yelling at you from down a corridor. And he says, "If they haven't taken what's hidden away in the temple, you may find help. There are supplies. Take what you can. It's all rightfully yours after all. I'm sorry, Wilhelm."
He nods. You have nothing to apologize for. Farewell on the other side, friend.
When you say that, you hear a sigh of relief, like somebody who's been carrying a heavy burden finally getting to just let go of it. And the room seems different, and the whole apparition just disappears. You hear and see nothing of him.
He takes a moment to collect himself, and then returns to the rest of the group. Hello, everyone.
He returns! Where is the dirt?
I have some bad news.
What
But-
crypto was that?
Well, it was stolen.
Oh no,
Seems
stolen.
to be recent based off of when I had talked to. Well, it's complicated. There was a spirit in there. A spirit that was at least aware of my ancestors having lived here.
Now, to
He
clarify,
faded away.
when you guys saw Erlebald go in there, you would see him wander into the area, kind of torchlit and whatnot, and actually pausing to kind of, stand and look around. You even heard him murmuring in there, like maybe saying prayers or something. But you would have never seen anything like a spirit, by the way. Sorry to interrupt you there.
Well, the dart is gone, stolen. Someone had desecrated the temple. Though, at least, I vaguely know what sort of person had stolen it, and I fully intend on taking it back. It is a green-skinned man, possibly Yuan-Ti, half-orc, orc. Doesn't matter. Some green-skinned race, maybe even a frog. That wouldn't be good.
You
He
want to
wore-
find this son of a bitch, Earl?
fully intend on it.
Intend on helping you.
We'll get that dirt back for you. Nobody desecrates Earl's temple. Bastard.
How
Yeah.
dare they try to take a dart? Especially the golden dart.
Thank you, Dominic. Well, he also mentioned that there may be supplies in the temple. I am hopeful that there may be something that could be of use to us, for I'm sure that whatever stole the golden dart is no simple adversary.
Yeah,
Earl
it'd have to be
just-
someone powerful to break into here.
Yeah, he starts walking in this direction.
Okay. Further up ahead into the hallway, and you hear your companions, moving to follow after you. You see that the hallway turns over towards the right, and on the ground is what looks like the fresh corpse of an orc. And he has at his hand like a large battle axe, and his head is kind of tilted to this side. And you see what looks like a whole bunch of darts riddling his body. And you can smell like the stench of death, but it looks like he's actually been here nowhere near as long as the skeletons have been. Like, he's decaying, but you know, this definitely happened way more recently than them.
Earl decides to search him.
Sure. Make an investigation check.
Oh lord, we need to have Earl just tell someone else to search people. God, this +0 is killing me. Oh, it was almost a natty. Fuck, that's a 4.
Okay. You find very little on him, though it does look like he has like a big battle axe there and a couple of stray copper coins, but that's about it.
Does he... No, wait, I guess I wouldn't be able to find anything else.
Is there anything notable about the orc? Or is it just like an everyday run-of-the-mill?
Yeah, when you walk up to him and look at the guy, he looks like a normal orc for the most part, though quite the brute. Like, even by orcish standards, he's like pretty muscular and like beefy specimen.
Does he have any like weird tattoos or marks? I guess does he have a great soul mark on him?
He does not.
Random dude.
That was a good thought. I wouldn't even thought of that. I forgot we had those.
Oh, Earl, this was not that long ago. I'm sorry we could not find this temple sooner.
It is fine. I'm sure the dart had been long gone. Well,
We'll get it back.
I'm sure. Yeah, Earl just continues forward, moving past the orky boy.
I'll let him lead. It looks like they're still dart hazards.
Oh, before, I'm gonna just try to take out the darts in his back.
Sure, you can add maybe like 6 darts to your inventory.
Wonderful.
Now, you continue and head off towards the right, and when you turn around the corner, let's see here, you see what looks like a hallway that is certainly not empty, as in front of you there appears to be some stuff laying in the hall. Now, the hall is short, maybe 20-25 feet from one end to the other, and in front of you there is a body on the ground, another one, and you see what looks like it looks like a tabaxi, like a cat person laying there. And then over in the back end corner, you see what looks like a small mechanical thing of some kind, barely lit up by your little bit of light. As for you, Colcoat, you can tell what it is, and it looks like some sort of small walker-like robot, like a small simulacrum or something.
I go to the tabaxi. Oh no, my brethren, what happened?
As you
Oh,
walk
I hope-
up towards him, there's a click when your foot steps down on one of the tiles here. And a
Uh-oh.
bunch of darts fly out, and I need a dex save.
Darts everywhere.
20.
Bet your ass is glad they're a D4.
You take 8 damage as a cloud of darts is suddenly let from both sides of the hall, and you dash backwards.
Oh, that's what happened. Earl, I don't think it likes me going. You need to go first. You're the chosen dart one.
Well, I did set off the first trap, but I'm fine with leading.
Look at this poor tabaxi. Oh, what happened to him? I'm being really careful.
Sure.
Looking at the tabaxi, can I just, like... Oh, wait, Gold Coat. You probably know more about Tabaxi than I do. Could you take a look?
What would you like me to look at?
Anything you could identify. I'm not sure if Tabaxi have clans like dwarves or that's just tattoos or something. I don't know.
Well, I don't think he's related to me, so that can take out about half the Tabaxi in Skyfall. But I'm not quite sure. Let me have a look, and I'll take a look through his stuff.
You reach forward and grab at the ankle of this rotting corpse and pull him over towards you. And, a trail of, like, gross gore and weird fluids that haven't quite dissolved yet just scrape along the ground. And, while pulling him, the weight of his body actually triggers another pressure plate. And thankfully, you're at the other end of the corner, or the other end of the hall. But you watch as, like, another cloud is let out and harmlessly kind of clatters against the wall, and more darts just kind of fall down.
Damn, Earl, your family means business. There's some serious traps.
Yes, my father taught me at a young age how to kill animals with traps. I assume it is proper instruction for all children.
I too learned how to catch small prey as a child. It must be.
Earl nods sagely.
The body that you pull over here has a very obvious cause of death. Darts are stuck into all manner of places. A few of them seem to have even struck the neck. This guy didn't get too far, maybe about halfway through the hallway before being dropped here. There's probably a dozen of darts that are still embedded in him. Who knows how many he managed to remove before falling over dead.
Oh, my fallen brother, you cannot run through all of your problems.
He has a set of leather armor on and is also covered with a sort of like sandy, like off beige and little faint stripes here and there. But he's long past his point now.
Do you have anything in
Sure,
a bag?
make an investigation check.
Probably know what investigation is. Oh, 10.
10? Okay.
Oh my god.
You find a small note on him, and written down in common after unfolding the parchment, you see that there's a little, it's like a little set of directions to nearby. And it says, behind the big tree, around the stump, 1 foot underground. And then don't forget is the last thing written on it.
Alright, well, I'll take the note. Just put it away.
Sure.
What did it say? Behind the...
Behind the big tree.
Yep. Around the stump, 1 foot underground. Don't forget.
I've already forgotten.
It's okay, I got it written down.
I don't know why my tabletop sim notes aren't letting me edit the notebook. It might be a perms issue,
Probably.
but I'm just writing it down in my own Discord thing.
So does it look like if there's any more traps? Any pressure plates or anything in here?
The whole room, the whole hallway is just all these tiles.
And is that a doorway at the other end?
Mm-hmm. A door which, by the way, has a blood smear on it, and you can see what looks like another body. It's a human there at the other end. And he's, like, draped up against the door, like he fumbled over towards it bleeding, and then fell down and died in front of it.
So how do we get across this, Earl?
Is there anything... Do you guys have anything heavy in your inventory?
You
Darts
know I
aren't
sure
heavy.
didn't. By the way, can I roll that injury roll?
We'll do
Oh,
that later.
Get.
Hey Mackinac, we got the problem. We can't get Crosshair, and there's a little weird, maybe a simulacrum over there. I don't know if he's
What do you
working or
mean?
not. There's a little simulacrum over here. I got distracted with this port tabaxi, but look, it's pretty cool. Come see.
I'll walk over.
Sure. The dead robot lays on the ground over here, broken.
Hey, can I use some of that rope?
You can. What are you using it for?
I will catch the little robot man.
I see.
I would like to lasso him.
Okay.
Lasso.
With a lasso here, you toss out the rope and make a regular attack roll like you're shooting somebody. Firmly, you get the lasso around him and then pull the robotic corpse over. And along the way, you set off the trap like 3 or 4 times. And you're actually able to see a bunch of tiles that you definitely don't want to step on. Eventually, though, you drag the robot over to you, and you can see that it's like about the size of a halfling, and is very kind of exposed. Mackinac is kind of like a walking suit of armor in a lot of ways, whereas this one has a lot of its parts just sort of bare and shown. You can see how a lot of its internal structure has been ruined by darts.
What do you think, Mackinac? Can we maybe rebuild it?
Taking a look at it, does it look like it's been damaged beyond repair?
I would say you see a lot of broken parts, but nothing missing. It's possible, though it wouldn't be an easy task.
It may be possible to repair it. I would like to bring it back with us.
Yes, you can be a father.
Mackinac, you hold the thing in your hands and stare at the little thing, this little halfling-sized robo, and ponder the implications of fatherhood. And with that, we will end the session.
You're gonna be a dad! Yay! Should we throw a baby shower?
It's a boy! So, with that, congratulations, players, on making it to the temple. Sadly, the item of interest is gone, but there might be more stuff lurking. Who knows? We'll probably find that on the next one. We have a week off coming up, though, so you won't see it next week, but the week after. And, yeah.
I'm gonna murder the shit out of that sorcerer. Fuck them. I just looked at Thursday's group page. They're still hunting a sorcerer, apparently, on the ongoing quests, so, you know. We need to hire them.
It's a competition. You gotta get them first.
Before we end, we'll just send out the message. Anyone see a sorcerer? They're fucking ours.
SOS, dart gone.
Yeah,
Find the orc sorcerer.
Using the amulet might have been a good idea. Cough, cough.
No.
But, players, well done. Audience, thanks for coming by. Patrons, couldn't do it without you. We'll see you tomorrow for Wednesday group shenanigans, whatever it is that they're up to. And keep on going there. So, adios.
He said.
See ya.
See ya.
Bye-bye.